Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is the doppelganger himself, Jin. And today, we are talking about Sakamoto Days, episode 3. I don't remember what the title of this episode's called. Is it like Wonder Park?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
I keep wanting to call it Sugarland.
Sugarland.
Sugarland, yeah. Which I'm going to say this, and then we're going to
Welcome to Sugar Park. That's what it was called.
See, look, I was close.
I would say Sugarland. That's a town in Houston.
There you go. I'm going to say this, and then we're going to come back to it later on.
Okay.
But I just got to tell you, the fucking mascot for this theme park is fucking creepy as shit. A bunny with a toupee. Like, I was like, the fuck? Anyway, coming back to that later. I'm just going to let everybody else that heard that just stew.
Just sit there and stew.
You can just stew with that.
It was a big pink bunny with a toupee.
A big pink bunny with a different colored Adolf Hitler toupees.
I mean, if you took the buck teeth and move them up a little, it might look like a mustache.
This is true. Or you took one, threw it away, and put the other one up there.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So just stew. Let that sit with you for a little while while we cover the rest of the episode, and then we'll come back. So, last time we found out, which I did watch the end of the last episode.
Oh yeah.
Where because you told me it was there, and we actually covered it last episode. You did kind of, sort of. I didn't get to jump in because I didn't know it was fucking there. But anyways,
I've been watching to see if there's a thing at the very end for each of episodes so far.
I look at the timestamp.
Yeah.
So if it's there, then I know. If not, then I'm like, eh. But anyway, so if touching on the end of the last episode, the after credits clip, I guess it would be, we have where there is kind of like a council of people, which we're going to come back to that as well. But there's this council of basically like assassins that have all kind of like signed this contract for Sakamoto to have a bounty on his head, and all these guys are going to go after him, all these assassins, because he took on the Denjoshi group?
I don't know if the Denjoshi group was their group or what it was, because I was really confused, because he's like...
No, the Denjoshi group, I think, was the one that he beat up.
Was it? Okay, because they were like, oh, he was a part of, like, the organization or something. They called it something like a very generic sounding name.
Yeah.
Is what he was, what Sakamoto was a part of.
Yes.
So I was like, I was really confused in that part.
Yes.
When the assassins were talking about it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was because he betrayed like the organization that he was a part of, and that's why the assassins were coming after him.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
There's no fucking clue on that.
Yeah.
No fucking clue. But anyway, so we have this group of assassins that plans on, we're going to get the bounty. And it really doesn't seem like they care about the bounty too much, I would say. It seems like they're more preoccupied with taking down this, ex-assassin guy that has some street cred.
Yeah, it really seems like you said, like they want the street cred for taking down Sakamoto.
Yeah, and they kind of have the same like impression, I feel like, as like Shin the clairvoyant did.
Yeah.
The first time, like, oh, he's a fat guy. Oh, like they don't think he still has like the muscle memory or the skill to be able to do all this.
He's just fat John Wick.
Yeah, and he's just weighed down.
Yeah, which is not the case.
Which, if you go to our Instagram, you can also see a really nice, just little comic clip of Sakamoto talking to John Wick, which I thought was pretty cool.
It was pretty funny.
So we have all that kind of happened at the end, and then getting into this one, we actually have where I think his name is Nagumo.
Nakumo was his name, I think, or
Yeah.
Nagumo. Well, let's set up the scene first. So we have
We
Shin come in.
we have the weirdest scene
Weirdest scene.
where Shin and what's the girl's name?
Lou,
Where Shin and Lou are arguing
because
because
Luke
Lou,
showed up 2 hours late.
well, and she's putting stuff in the wrong areas.
Yeah, and it looks like shit.
And she's like, it doesn't have to look good. If we're selling it, people will just come to buy it and they can find
Yes.
it themselves. And of course, Shin is like, have you never worked a day in your life? Well, of course. Of course, she's never worked a day in her life because
I
where she
loved, I
can't.
loved, I loved this
I mean,
part.
that also, I think, touched on the little snippet at the end of last episode as well, because she goes, yeah, I'd like to come make buns for you. And Shin asks, well, don't you have lots of money? And Lou goes, well, yeah, but I need a job.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I need a job. But I love the scene when Shin asks, hey, have you ever had a job before? She's like, yeah, I helped my papa bury like rugs in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that's probably hiding
Yeah,
bodies,
no, she was
you
hiding
know,
bodies.
shit like that. But anyway, we have this strange scene where Sakamoto finally makes it there. He walks in and he's talking to him.
Yes.
And if anybody has known so far before, like Sakamoto is almost a man of very, very little words.
He is a man of very little words.
Unless it's in his head and he's talking to Shin.
Yeah.
So,
Or he like has to say something out loud. It's very few words.
yeah. So, anyway,
They're kind of
he,
like awestruck, like what's going on with Sakamoto?
yeah, it's something off, da da da. And he's telling them like to do stuff for their jobs and other things, and he's not behind the counter or anything. And once that happens, a second Sakamoto walks in, which is the real Sakamoto.
Yes.
And
they're like, what? There's two of them?
yeah, somebody is on copycat day today or something like that.
And he's like, oh, hey, how's it going? And he just casually, nonchalantly walks past them and sits down in his seat.
Picks up his newspaper.
And the other Sakamoto is like, oh, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. And they have like this weird stare off where the fake Sakamoto pulls a gun and the other one pulls out his box cutter. We find out that
Didn't he pull out a knife first?
maybe, I don't remember. I know it was his box cutter.
Well, he pulled out a knife and it went through the paper, and then Sakamoto pulled out the box cutter and used the butt of it to break the blade, and then the guy pulled out the gun.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
So they have kind of like this standoff, and we find out that this fake Sakamoto is actually a guy that Sakamoto used to work with. I don't remember what his name was. Do you remember what his name was?
Yeah, Nagumo.
Was it Nagumo? Okay, yeah. We find out Nagumo is like sort of like a master of disguise. He can like, I don't know if it's like a hologram he uses or he has a power to like shapeshift or something. Exactly.
I am not sure.
They never like say like what it is, but he's like, oh yeah, I'm an 18-year-old and I work across the street at the other convenience store, and they're like, there's no other convenience store.
He does not say convenience store.
What was it?
He says grocery store.
Grocery store. Sorry, yeah, grocery store.
And this is the part that catches me off guard because we've at least caught a couple episodes in front of the store.
Uh-huh.
And obviously there is no grocery store here. And so when he said it, I'm glad that they did the whole pan out where they went over and like Shin and everybody's like, there's not one of those. It's like an apartment complex across the
way. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm 18. And he's like, Sakamoto's like, no, he doesn't work at a grocery store and he's not 18. He's 29 years old. And Shin and Lou kind of beat up this guy, which I thought was a really funny scene. I love this scene. And they tie him up and whatnot. And they're like, so, Sakamoto, there's actually a bounty on your head. There's like $1 billion or something like that. I think it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And as they're talking, the pizza delivery guy shows up. And they're like, oh yeah, pizza, set it on the thing. I guess they were expecting pizza. I don't know.
Yeah.
But probably my favorite assassin so far, which was, I think, what's his name? Pizza Nakamura? I think his name was.
Yeah. No, his wasn't Nakamura. His was something else, but it was Pizza Man something.
It was like pizza something. And he's like, I know everybody gets fooled by the pizza assassin. And he like, he puts the pizza on the thing and he like pulls out these like pizza cutters. He's like,
Yeah.
take one more step and I'll kill this guy. And they're just sitting there eating pizza. They don't even like care about him at all. He is
Yeah.
like not a threat to them whatsoever.
Yeah.
And
So I have to say this is probably my favorite assassin as well.
it was funny. It was funny because I didn't expect it.
I expected it when he came in. His hat was pulled way down.
I just forgot that they had themed assassins in this.
Yeah. So that happened, and whenever his hat was pulled down, that's when I thought, oh well, this is going to be an assassin. Not only that, but Nagumo had just said that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh geez, like look at that. The pizza man's going to be one. And then it came out that he was one, and I was like, but
And then
I love the idea and the concept behind this one because it was fucking hilarious.
he's just a delivery man who is the pizza assassin on the side.
Right?
And
Well, not only that, but his weapons of choice are 2 pizza cutters.
do you think occasionally he pulls out like a cheese grater? Like a cheese grater, and he's like,
Probably
I'm
not.
gonna peel off your skin with my cheese grater.
Probably not.
Are you fights with like one of those big spatulas you take out with like a pizza, like the paddles?
Yeah, pizza paddle?
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's like, watch out for my what was in the second Turtles movie, what was it? He's like ninja cold cuts or something. That's what it reminded me of.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got like the salamis that are like attached together. It was a big thing back in the 90s.
Oh, it's like nunchucks?
Yeah, but they look like nunchucks, and he's like using. He's like, ninja cold cuts or something. I don't know what he said.
Here we go. That'd be good.
But yeah, and so the other guy, what was his name? I always forget his name because he's only in this first scene.
Nagumo?
Nagumo. He's only in this first scene. He chokes him out, and he's like, Sakamoto's like, hey, we don't kill. And so he like takes him with him and like just leaves.
Yeah.
You know,
And then every time Shin tries to like chase him down or whatever, he's just gone.
He's just gone. And we think, the day has been saved. But little do we know is that Sakamoto's day is not over. Because he forgets that he has to spend quality time with his family.
That's the next day.
Yeah, the next day, yeah. He finds out at the end of this day he has to spend time with them because he forgets. Which I thought he liked spending time with his family.
He does. I think it was the fact that he forgot.
Or was it he forgot and he had to go out and do stuff?
I think it was the fact that he forgot that they were going to go do this, and at the same time this assassination stuff is going on.
Because he basically seems like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
When he goes out to this park. So it made me feel like he didn't want to be there because he didn't like being out in public.
I think one is the fact I don't think he likes roller coasters.
Because he doesn't fit.
Yeah. And him and Lou both don't like him.
Yeah.
And then for 2, I think it's because of The whole part where it's kind of the Reaper guy, with like the head chopped off tattoo thing around his neck,
Oh
the
yeah,
spiky gray haired guy.
yeah,
There's one part where him and Shin are talking, and he says that Sakamoto's basically a scared piece of shit, kind of, sort of. And
hmm
Shin goes, "That's not a man that's scared. That's a man that's scared of disappointing his family or whatever."
yeah,
So I think that was the other thing of, like, if you're going to come into a situation like this and have another guy's family, even though he's trying to, like, make sure that they have the best time at this Wonderland place,
yeah.
then that's what made him, like, worried, not anything else.
Okay, 'cause it made me feel like he just didn't want to like be there. To be honest,
Yeah.
that's what I took away from it. I was like, oh, he's like wouldn't enjoy that. He seems more like a homebody. I feel like
Yeah. No, I think he's just scared of, like, that, maybe, like, around about being around so many people.
maybe.
But other than that, I don't really think that there was, like, that big of a problem with it.
I know it just seemed like none of them wanted to be there. They're like, oh my god, I can't believe we have to go do this.
Yeah.
Is what it seemed like, and we get another assassin. We get which Sakamoto ends up also sending a message to the assassin group because there was a
Yes.
hidden camera in the pizza box.
Which was fucking stupid.
Which why didn't the pizza guy just poison the pizza?
Because
You
no,
know,
because he's the pizza man. Like, he's not the poisoner. He's the pizza man. Just like our next assassin that we see is the fucking janitor guy.
the
Okay,
janitor.
the janitor assassin.
Yes, which that whole scene was really funny to see. Like, oh, we find out that Shin's um, power only works within like a 30-meter radius. I think it was.
Sort of. So to understand, I think what it was that he was saying is it works up to, or it works best at a 30 meter, and longer than that, he has to concentrate more.
Like a radio.
Yeah, and then he said he had to tune in to it. And then
Yeah.
that's where he makes the analogy of him basically being like a radio.
And he tunes in to the janitor assassin, which Sakamoto ends up stabbing him in the chest with a pin. And Shin and Liu end up doing cleanup, essentially, to make it look like nobody is coming after Sakamoto and his family.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I like that. I like that they're the bodyguards for the former hitman. Like it's a cool, interesting, fun little concept. I feel like
Oh
like
no, I agree. I mean, especially, like, in the whole thing, we do watch a lot that,
mhm.
especially like in the opener, like, Lou's there,
Yeah,
but, like, his main man is Shin,
yeah,
and I really like how that stuck out a lot today. Or,
mm-hmm. In the
well,
episode,
yeah, in the episode in general, I feel like it's going to be like a reoccurring thing going forward. Maybe
yeah,
until we get like an opener two.
and like Sakamoto comes in when the big bad kind of shows up. I feel like, or the big bads,
Yeah, yeah,
and has to take them on. But yeah, no, like it was really cool. I loved the little montages of Sakamoto and his family on like the different rides.
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I can't fit." Oh, when he's
Well,
on the
and I like that they kind of, like, included them with him.
yes,
So it's more like a big family outing than it was.
for Sakamoto.
Yeah, yeah, than just bodyguards, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. They definitely closed the shop down that day. I feel like and took a day off. But yeah, we get the big event, I guess you could say, where they end up on a roller coaster. Sakamoto and his family are kind of in the middle ish towards the front. Shin and Liu are in the back because apparently the roller coaster is fastest in the back. And you can have a nice little vantage point. And we end up finding out that I don't know if he was like the poison assassin or what he was. I don't even remember if he got a name.
Um,
I called him like Clown Frankenstein assassin because he kind of looks like he should have like Frankenstein bolts on his neck because he has like that weird like stitch pattern on his neck going down his chest as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Well, and he had the silver eyes, which is pretty. I think another nice touch to him.
Yeah,
Um,
he was a cool character.
he was. Now, can I say he went down like a bitch? Yes, he did.
Oh, a little. I think he put up a decent fight though.
I mean, when he was just against Shin, though, but
Yeah, yeah.
I I was expecting that part of these guys were going to be a lot better.
So eventually, when they start, like it kind of builds up slowly.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
after this and the janitor guy,
yeah.
I'm going to imagine that everybody we saw sitting around the table are probably not going to be on this level, and there's going to be
Well, the spiky haired guy was sitting at the table, and the janitor was as well.
right. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't feel like the people sitting at this table are going to really be worth the time of anything else moving forward, but it'll be the next group of people after them that we'll see a
yeah.
bigger turnaround for.
No, I don't remember if like the assassins like last long in this. I think they might last like a chapter or two, maybe.
Yeah,
Because I never really got that far in the book, so I can't say yes or no whether or not like some of them
yeah,
stick around.
because whenever I started watching this, I went, "Holy shit! This is the episode you were telling me about from the book."
Yeah, the one where they at the amusement park.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And I was
uh,
like, Mike told me about this already.
yeah. Like I think I made it through volume one, and I was in the middle of volume two
Yeah,
when I stopped because I went to go read other stuff, which I might have to go back and read like what I have so far.
yeah,
Just to see where it goes moving forward.
yeah,
Um, but I kind of like the aspect also of not really knowing like what's going to come back up afterwards because I remember like what happens after this as well with the next set of assassins.
yeah,
But like after that, like I don't know what the fuck happens.
yeah, yeah.
Which
So
I'm guessing they're probably going to cover at least like two volumes of in this season, if possible.
yeah, probably 2, 3, depending on
Yeah,
what their
because
milestones that they're setting. Because we went through the janitor guy and Poison Frankenstein like real fast.
well that was all that was just one chapter. Like
Yeah, and that
this is one chapter.
yeah, and that's for the people that were at the table. If they do another episode and include two, I mean, we're already getting there.
Yeah,
So
because they were already in one chapter. So like the one before was a chapter, and the first episode was a chapter. So
yeah,
they're like three chapters into volume one,
yeah,
which
yeah,
volume one had like I think like 9 or 10 chapters. I think it was. I don't remember exactly.
yeah,
So that's like 10 episodes. But yeah, and we get this really cool scene to where so the guy notices, and then Shin notices the guy and reads his mind to find out that he's the bad guy. And we get this really cool
well,
fight
and
on a roller coaster.
and I just like the way that this whole thing happened. That was
Oh, it was
hilarious.
cool.
Not the fight. I mean, like
Oh,
before that, like
yeah.
this guy walked past Shin like 2 or 3 times,
He does. He does.
and Shin
And
doesn't notice him.
yeah, because he kind of like makes his mind
And then,
blank.
and then for this being an assassin manga,
Yeah.
made me laugh so fucking hard. Whenever Lou goes, well, that guy right there, the silver haired guy, he has the look,
Yeah, he has the
and
look. Nah.
Shin goes, you can't judge people off of their looks, and then he kind of looks back like he knows that they notice him, so he can't keep his mind calm. and then
Yeah.
Shin notices him, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like
No, it was really funny. It
we're,
was really funny.
we're working with two different radars right here. Okay,
Yeah, and we also find out that Sakamoto has bulletproof glasses.
which I also thought was kind of a funny thing because when I think it's when they first get to the park,
Uh huh.
it's him and Shin and Lou, and they're all standing there, and I think it's when his daughter brings up the mascot and what they look like,
He looks like him.
and whenever they said that, all three of them kind of had like that dreary, where their characters almost go like a blue or like they
Yeah,
grayed out.
like the death thing.
Yeah, and then like black hole behind them, and
Yeah.
Sakamoto's glasses like broke,
Yes.
and I was like, wait, you're telling me he has bulletproof glasses? Then how did I mean, obviously it was just like the feeling of it, but
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny that they had that scene happen already. And I was like,
Yeah. No, I love this whole scene where Shin and the assassin are fighting on the roller coaster.
yeah,
I thought it was very, very well animated, and nobody notices them
yeah.
at all. Like it was just so well animated.
Uh, I think only one, like nobody noticed him except for the people past Sakamoto,
Yeah.
which was after Shin broke his cuff or whatever that was holding him in.
Yeah.
And then he starts falling all the way and he falls on top of the guy and kind of sort of,
He grabs him and grabs him out.
yeah, and he shoots a thing in his so the electronics stop holding that guy in, and you kind of hear like people do like a little yell,
Like, oh my god.
yeah, and so I think that was the only thing with that.
Yeah. No, this was a very well animated fight scene.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I feel like this anime has. It has very creative fight scenes, it seems like
Yes.
they're not like the norm.
Well, and who would have thought that Shin was going to pull out a freaking silencer on the train or on
Yeah.
the
On the
the
car.
coaster? Yeah, on the coaster, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Already had the silencer and like everything with it, like, do all that. I was like, wait, doesn't Shin have a different weapon? And obviously not, but it was just crazy to see him
Yeah.
pull that out.
And when they end up fighting, we end up finding out that the assassin has poisoned darts
Yep.
or poisoned knives, like kunais kind of throwing knives. And Shin gets hit, unfortunately. And Shin ends up temporarily going blind because of the poison, sort
Mm-hmm.
of. So he has to kind of hear with his powers to see like where exactly Sakamoto is and stuff.
Which I thought this was fucking clever,
Oh
okay?
yeah, no, it was.
Because like his first one wasn't Sakamoto. I don't think Sakamoto was exactly close enough.
I think it was Hana or something, right?
Yeah, it was Hana. He heard her say that she wanted, I think it was cotton candy.
Yeah,
Or no, we're gonna go miss the sugar show. That's
the
what it.
sugar show. Yeah, because she loves the rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like he kind of knew what direction to take him to with that, where to jump, and then of course like they weren't really that far, but they came crashing through the tent, and then he could
yes,
hear Sakamoto go, popcorn.
yeah.
So like that all happened.
And we get the Super Sentai Power Ranger rejects show
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
which he's like,
Now,
hey
now
buddy, you can't
there
be here.
was there was only one part on this that I felt a little thrown off,
Yeah, what was that?
which is where you see the hand pop up with the gun,
Yeah.
and it's the villain that's on stage, and I was like, whoa. At a kids show you're gonna have a fake gun. But then they kind of have a line, and that's when Shin and the other guy fall in on the stage and create a little bit of a smoke screen.
Yeah, and I think it's funny, like the cast who are doing the show kind of sort of go along with it at this point. Like, oh,
What
it's
the announcer lady?
yeah, the announcer lady.
Yeah,
Yeah, which we find out because the Power Ranger guy kind of tries to stop the assassin, and we see Sugar show up. And Sugar is actually Shin dressed up in the bunny costume.
yep.
And he like sucker punches the assassin,
Oh yeah.
which yeah,
Which I this is probably my favorite part, not the one on the tracks. This was probably it
this was a
because
good fight. This was a good fight.
it's like, how did he get so good?
Yeah, because he's blind. He can't see.
And then you have this whole thing where you go to like Hana
Yeah.
and they're talking about it. It's Hana and the wife.
I.
Yeah, and they're talking about how the show's really good and oh my god. And then they look at Sakamoto and they're like, I think he's really enjoying it because
Yeah.
he's really concentrating.
Just like a kid.
Yeah, and so then we actually get the inside of what Sakamoto's thinking, and he is giving Shin all the moves of how to fight this guy.
Yes, and the fight. It was a cool fight. It was really well done.
It was like and the funny thing is, I almost felt like Sakamoto was giving like video game cheat codes.
Yeah, like left, right uppercut,
Yeah,
duck,
down.
left, down, upright,
Yeah,
A, B, start, select.
exactly.
Yeah, no, it was a fun fight and very well done. And luckily, Shin wins and defeats the assassin.
Yeah, he does.
And that's kind of where this anime ends, is with them having like a
Yeah,
nice little happy ending.
yeah. The only other thing I think that I liked in this was where the announcer lady, like you said, basically kept up and
Yes.
all the moves that he was doing, like they got a name.
Yeah, because, yeah, they did. Yeah. Which I was kind of curious, like, is Sugar like a superhero in this universe? That's what I was trying to figure out.
For the Wonder Park,
Yeah, or like was a potential like TV mascot, you know?
um, I can't really say for that. Like, I know it's just at the theme park. I don't know if there's anything else that goes with it
I
though.
was just curious how like of the way like how the announcer reacted and stuff. Like it was almost like
Yeah,
a stage play, and I was kind of wondering if the stage play was like taken from like a potential TV show for children. Because
I
you
I
had like
don't know.
because you had
I
like the Super Sentai stuff in there as well. That's why I was kind of
Yeah.
curious.
I don't know. I felt more so right now, which I mean, in future episodes, we'll have to see if there's posters or anything in the background. I thought that Sugar was just supposed to kind of be like a generic character of the Wonderland, of
Uh
Sugar
huh.
Wonderland. And that the Sentai guy was probably like one of his friends that was in the group or whatever to promote it, just like if you're going to go to Disney World for Indiana Jones or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was kind of thinking of.
But the other thing that this made me really think about was, and I'm sure they all have names, but I know they're all tied in just to the park. And you may get this. Was the first, I believe it was the first episode, first or second episode of Squid Games.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, like none of those characters were anybody that we would recognize, nor do I think that they were really big outside of the park unless it was something related to the park.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the other thing I figured with Sugar Wonderland was that the
Hmm.
fact of it was all themed towards kids like Disneyland, but nothing had went out from that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, they kind of made it to me seem like a Disneyland esque type of place.
Yeah. Or like Chuck E. Cheese, you know.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. It's a mascot that you go and you go see, and you know this as like a place that, you know,
Yeah.
kids want to go, or like you wanted to go when you were a kid because you were like, oh my God. And then there's Chucky, you know, or something like that.
Yeah. No, totally. I get it. Yeah.
So
But yeah. No, this episode was so much fun, and it was very well done.
it was. The only complaint I would say that I had, because the voice acting was better than the last one.
It
Okay,
was. It was.
you know my gripe on that one because
Yes,
it
yes, yes.
seemed like like you could tell the person recorded it. This one, it sounded like the character like actually like was the character.
Yeah.
The only problem I had with this was like right at the end of how it ended.
How so?
Because like you said, like we get done with that fight and it just ends abruptly.
Yeah, it just ends abruptly. Yeah.
And that's my only complaint on this episode. I wouldn't say it's anything to really dock at points. It just ended suddenly, and it just seemed like there was supposed to be something else kind of to push us forward a little bit. Like,
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I feel that like things pushing us forward is they're going to send more assassins. You know.
uh, yeah, maybe if they did like an after credit scene or something.
Yeah.
Um, my whole thing would have been like them leaving the park and having like a kind of like a thing where they would zoom up after like a line was said to the sky. And what I think would have been fun is if Hana, Shin, and Lou and everybody were leaving to leave the park and everything,
Yeah.
and Hana had brought up to Shin, like, "Oh, Mister Shin, you missed this really cool fight where Sugar was fighting this,
The
and
bunny rabbit.
yeah, and referred to the spiky haired guy."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like Shin and Sakamoto say something snappy to Shin about "Don't you ever tell her" or something
Don't
like
you
that.
tell her I will kill you.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
then like Shin said, made a laugh or something, or Lou made some kind of gesture, and then it panned into the sky. Like
That'd been funny. Yeah.
I feel like that would have ended it better than how it did, because in this we get done with the fight and it just seems like
It just ends.
it seems like somebody like cut the reel and just
Like
you
cut
know
print. We got this.
yeah, the movie just kept trying to go on and was like there's nothing else to give. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um that's probably the only gripe. I wouldn't say it really docks at any points, but it does that so abruptly that it's kind of like it leaves you, I would say, wanting more on the fact of, because
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like it actually ended.
I mean, we're gonna get more.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah,
I love the dynamic between Sakamoto and his I don't want to say coworkers, employees, I guess you could say,
yeah,
of Shin and Lou. Like I loved like that whole thing in this episode.
yeah,
Like that was a highlight, and like very much like the family is like so oblivious at this point
yeah, yeah.
because he's not supposed to be killing, and that's what they don't know.
Well, and the other fact of how they do stuff too, like the action cinematics,
Yeah,
um, and how it actually does look like it's a killing strike. Like
yeah,
like
yeah,
when he stabbed the janitor guy with the pin.
yeah. It did look like he like knocked him out,
Looked like
like dead.
he stabbed him like dead through the heart. I got your heart basically with this pin, and things like that, but there's no blood, anything
Yeah,
else. And it's like, no, he did this, but like,
he missed all his
whatever.
vital organs.
Yeah, but he somehow still got the pin inside of him, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
I would like to see Nagama's, or whatever his name was. Was it
Naguma.
Naguma's? More about him and
Yep.
stuff later on, because he really didn't seem to care about the bounty like at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, and he said that.
He wanted to like just see his friend,
Yeah.
which I hope
Supposed friend.
yeah, I hope he becomes like a bigger like side character because he seemed kind of cool.
He's gonna join the shop too.
Oh no, the shop isn't big
Mhm.
enough for all of them.
Sure it is.
They're gonna have to expand.
Probably.
Well, he's gonna be the guy who sweeps the store. That's his job.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he's gonna own like some kind of like little ice cream cart outside.
Yeah, he's gonna make the grocery store next door.
Oh yeah, across the street.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a fake grocery store
Oh my god,
with the
yeah,
fake kid with the fake oranges.
Yeah, or I bet he'll just be like that guy that walks into the store all the time. Hey
Yeah,
guys, how you
yeah.
doing?
I
Um,
I really hope we get more like mundane like assassins.
I hope
like
so too.
like the pizza
Even
guy and the janitor.
even though he kind of Nagumo told us that unless people have help, they're not going to be there,
Yeah.
which kind of like to me as a viewer kind of told me, yeah, you won't get any more stupid assassins. I was like, damn
But I
it.
want more stupid assassins. Like
Yeah, give me more of those
I want
guys.
that to be like a running joke. Like, oh, here's the trash man.
Yeah.
Here's the doctor. Here's the delivery boy. Here's the newspaper man.
Yep.
You know, like I want that because I thought that was a really funny running joke
Yeah. Yeah.
because they very much like lived up to their stereotypes. Like the janitor was like cleaning the table when he was like talking in the assassin room at one point,
Yeah.
and they're like, you know, that gimmick kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Which I thought there was going to be a little more for the people at the table, and there wasn't. So, at least for now, I don't expect much out of the people that were at this table,
yeah,
at least until either we move on to the next table or something else like that.
yeah. But I look forward to see what happens next.
I
Like,
agree.
um, it's gonna be a fun ride. Like this hasn't disappointed me so far,
I agree.
and it's very very well animated, and the comedic timing is like on point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. I have enjoyed this one as well.
yeah. But we
So,
will catch you guys on the next episode.
yeah.
Make
See
sure
you
to
next Tuesday.
share the podcast, rate and review the podcast, tell your friends. Check out our Instagram at Otakuology Podcast, and let us know how we've been doing. We would love to hear feedback from y'all.
Yeah.
You know,
So now we'll see you next Thursday.
next Thursday.